All right, hello there. We've got an algebra problem here where we want to solve for two variables. We have two equations, 4x minus 5y equals 40, and 5x plus 2y equals 35. And we want to solve for x and y. If you'd like to, you can pause the video here, try to work this out, come back in a few minutes, and check your answer. We're going to work through it. All right. So first of all, the way I like to approach these problems is we've got x and y. We got two different equations. So I like to pick on one of them and try to isolate one of the variables. So in this case, I'm going to pick the first equation, 4x minus 5y equals 40. And I want to try to isolate x. I'm just going to pick x. I could have picked y. It really doesn't matter. Um, so here I can add whatever you do on the left side of the equation, you want to do on the right side. So you see this is the original equation. I want to add 5y to both sides. Well, that leaves me with just 4x on the left and 40 plus 5y on the right. Now from here, I can divide both sides by 4. 4x divided by 4 will leave me with x. 40 plus 5y divided by 4 leaves me with 10 plus 5y divided by 4. All right, so hopefully so far that makes sense. And now from here, I can substitute, okay? I've just determined that x is equal to 10 plus 5y divided by 4. Now I can substitute that into the second equation. So I'm basically substituting, remember it was 5x plus 2y equals 35. So if I replace x with 10 plus 5y divided by 4, I should be able to simplify this whole thing and then solve for y and actually have a value for y. All right, so like I said, you've got x equals 10 plus 5y divided by 4. And we want to substitute that into the second equation, which we said was 5x plus 2y equals 35. So we're going to replace x with 10 plus 5y divided by 4. All right, so when we do that, we can multiply the 5. We're going to try to simplify this. 5 times 10 leaves us the 50. 5 times 5y divided by 4 gives us 25y divided by 4. We still have the plus 2y, and that still equals 35. And we can further simplify this um, by saying we have subtract 50 from both sides of the equation, which would leave us with just 25y divided by 4 plus 2y. 35 minus 50 on the right side leaves us with minus 15. All right, so you can see we're getting a little simpler. All right, so from here, again, we got the 25y divided by 4 plus 2y equals minus 15. Now here, I can try to simplify this. I'm not going to use decimal points. I'm going to stay with fractions here. 2y is the same as 8y divided by 4, right? This is still 2y. I'm just trying to get a common denominator here, right? Which is 4. Denominator 4 here, denominator 4 here. So that allows me to add numerators. 25y and 8y it leaves me with 33y divided by 4, right? Remember how common denominators work with fractions. It allows you to add the numerators. You keep the same denominator. That gives you 33y divided by 4, and that still equals minus 15. All right, so we're getting a little simpler. All right, so when you simplify this thing, you end up with 33y divided by 4 equals minus 15. We can solve for y, multiply both sides by 4, gives you 33y equals minus 60. So y would be negative 60 divided by 33. Now you could divide that out if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it there as a fraction. But now we can substitute that result for y back into the very first equation that we had for x. Remember, the first equation was 4x minus 5y equals 40. Well, 4x minus 5, and if y is minus 60 divided by 33, um, we can simplify this down. Now keep in mind, a negative multiplied by a negative is a positive. So this becomes 4x plus 5 times 60 divided by 33 equals 40. And we can keep reducing this thing down. This really becomes 4x plus 300 divided by 33 because it's 5 times 60 all over 33, which is 300 divided by 33. So we keep wanting to work it out this way. We can. We can go through here. We can divide everything by 33 to get rid of the fraction if we want to. That would leave us 132x plus 300 equals 1320. And then from there would be 132x equals 1020, or x equals 1020 divided by 132. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy. We're not dealing in whole numbers here. We're not just dealing in, integer values. We got fractions involved, but we end up with x equals 1020 divided by 132, y equals minus 60 over 33. Um, Now, sometimes what I like to do is just go back and substitute those values back into both of your original equations just to make sure, hey, I didn't make a mistake. It actually solves for the correct answer. And you can do that. You know what x and y are. You can put the x and y values back in to those two original equations, like you could do it right here. And if you work this all out, you're going to get 40. All right? It actually comes down to, now in this case, I worked it out to the point where I just said, you know what, I'm going to divide 4080 by 132. Gives you approximately 30.91. 300 divided by 33 is approximately 9.09, and that works out to be 40. So you can substitute the values of x and y back into your second equation. All right, so if you do that, you're going to end up with, and basically what you can do here in this case, I'm going to go ahead and divide 1020 by 132 minus 60 by 33. So that gives you these answers for x and y. X is going to be equal to 7.73. Y equals minus 1.82. So you can substitute those into this equation, right? Our second equation, 5 times 7.73. Yeah, this is a mistake up here, isn't it? We already said it's 7.73. I must have copied that wrong. That's 7.73. We already said so, right? 7.73. So 5 times 7.73 minus 2 times 1.82 equals 35. When you work that out, there's a little bit of rounding errors in what I did, but you do end up with 35. Now, again, what you can do here, here's another way to solve it. Always give you options because there are optional ways to do it. You can multiply to try to align the coefficients. In this case, what they did is they multiplied equation 1 by 2 and equation 2 by 5 to make the coefficients of y equal. All right, and what you can do is you can actually add the equations. Now I'm going to show you that here. This is actually, I think, possibly one of the better ways to do it. You can align coefficients of y to make them equal. Like here you get minus, if you take 4x minus 5y equals 40, multiply it by 2, it'll give you 8x. See, 4x by 2 is 8x, minus 5y times 2 is minus 10y, 40 times 2 is 80. And you do that on the second equation, multiply it by 5. Instead of 5x, it becomes 25x. Instead of 2y, it's 10y. Instead of 35, it's 175. All right? Now, the next step is to add the equations together. You can add them up, all right? And what that's going to do, it's going to basically cancel out. You got minus 10y and plus 10y. Those cancel each other out, leaving you with just 33x equals 255. So you can actually add these together, add the two equations together, and it quickly gives you x equals 7.73. So I find this way sometimes to be a lot easier than just doing the substitution like I did the first time. All right, we've already got x. This was pretty quick. Now you can substitute the x equals 7.73 back into your first equation. All right, and what does that do for you? If you work through the math, you're going to end up with y equals minus 1.82. So basically, the same answers that we got the first time, but honestly, I kind of find this method a little bit easier a lot of the time. If you can align coefficients like this by multiplying the equations, it allows you to quickly be able to solve for one of the two variables. I sometimes think this is the easier way. Again, your final answer, x equals 7.73, y equals minus 1.82. Hopefully I didn't run through this too fast. Some people may think I went way too slow. Everybody's different, but if you feel like I went too fast, feel free to pause it, back up, rewatch it if you need to. But hopefully this has been helpful, and let me know if you want to see some more algebra problems. I know there's some people out there that are working at studying this stuff. If you need some more examples, let me know. But in the meantime, have a great day. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Click the notification, and see you in the next video.